The prevalence of fake personality tests. We are surrounded by these. They are on dating websites and magazines, even often used by companies. Real ones have passed rigorous tests of validity, reliability, and predictiveness, and have proven to be predictive of behavior. There are 4 prominent warning signs when encountering personality tests. 1. Beware of any test that claims to measure your personality, in other words, in its entirety. Remember, real personality tests have to prove to be valid, reliable, and predictive. It generally takes 10 to 12 questions to measure one single trait, and there are more than 4,000 traits in the English language. So it is impossible for any one test to measure your entire personality. Number 2, beware of any test that gives you a personality profile that is full of generalities, things that apply to most people. My favorite one, really found in a test. Here's how it reads. At times you are outgoing, but at other times you are reserved. Number 3, beware of any test that claims you are a type or types without giving you a means of comparing your score to a mean or average of others. Personality is a study of individual differences. With real tests, you are able to compare your score with those of others. Number 4, beware of a test that only or mostly results in positive things about you. It is not necessarily a fake test, but most of them are fake. And yet they will sell like hotcakes because people love to hear positive things about themselves. So it's unlikely that people will question their validity because they readily accept the results as so true. So say you do suspect the validity of a personality test due to some or all of these warning signs. How do you know for sure if it is real or not without getting a doctoral degree in personality psychology and in statistics? Well, you can check to see if it is endorsed by the APA, American Psychological Association. So let's learn about the most valid, reliable personality tests to date that are used for some different purposes. The MMPI, and that stands for Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, is used mostly for clinical or abnormal psychology. And the purpose is to identify clues to possible disorders. It has subscales for 10 different disorders. Here's an example of a client's MMPI results before and after a couple of years of therapy. The pink or orangish shaded area indicates a normal range. The blue line indicates the results before beginning therapy. What is the biggest possible flag here before therapy for the therapist to explore? Look at this closely. What do you think? Watch my cursor here, and that would be depression, right? Now, look how much therapy helped this client in particular. After all after scores are in the normal range. The 16 PF questionnaire, and PF stands for personality factor, is used in business for the purpose of assisting in selection processes. Oftentimes, after reviewing applicants' education and experience, checking their references, etc., we come up with a short list of our most desirable candidates. This is when this test comes in handy. because templates have been made using the average scores of the best employees worldwide for different careers. Once you have a short list, you can compare these individual scores to see who's best match the template. Some research, for instance, this is the template for the ideal commercial airline pilot. Notice that you want your pilot to be highly stable and emotionally controlled. You also want them to be pretty tough-minded, but not too tough-minded, which would be foolish and relaxed. And of course, not too relaxed, right? The NEO personality inventory measures what is called the Big Five in psychology. The Big Five can be remembered really well by the word ocean. 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 Okay? So the O would be openness. The Big Five represent the 5 personality traits that best capture individual differences between people. And you can remember those 5 by the word ocean, OCEAN. So starting with O, that trait is openness. Number C would be conscientiousness. E would be extroversion. A is agreeableness. And N is neuroticism. This test is used mostly for research and to look for individual differences in normal populations, unlike the MMPI, remember, which looks for possible disorders or abnormalities, right? Here are the results of a client's NEO personality inventory. Note that the Big Five scores are graphed on the left. See my cursor here? So they're graphed here overall, but on the right, we have breakdowns of each of the 6 different subscales of each of the Big Five. Now, if you take my personality test, you take the NEO personality inventory, often referred to as just the Big Five test. You graph your results like you see here in this picture, but then you give it to someone you know well, like a friend, parent, or sibling, and then graph their results on the same graph, but with a different color ink. And that way, you can visually see where your personalities converge and where they diverge. Pretty cool.